Hey guys, Adil here. Welcome back to yet another video of TechWafer. Hopefully you are having a great time, and in this video we are going to compare the Samsung's Galaxy A51 with the Huawei's Y9a. Starting off with the pricing section, the prices of the both smartphones are Starting off with the comparison of the spec sheet of both smartphones, the Samsung's Galaxy A51 has 6 GB of RAM with 128 GB of internal storage. On the other hand, the Huawei's Y9a has 8 GB of RAM with 128 GB of internal storage. And as far as the chipsets are concerned, the Huawei's Y9a has MediaTek's Helio G80, which is a 12nm chipset. On the other hand, the Samsung's Galaxy A51 has Exynos 9611, which is a 10nm chipset, and that's made by Samsung as well. In earlier devices, Huawei used to provide their own Kirin-based chipset, but after the sanctions imposed on them, they are not working on that anymore. It doesn't matter whether you are an aggressive or a casual gamer, you might want to know that which GPU both of these smartphones carry. The Huawei's Y9a has Mali's G52 MC2 GPU, while on the other hand, the Samsung's Galaxy A51 carries the Mali's G72 MP3. We're going to test the performance of both smartphones in our benchmark section. And now it is time to dig into the section which is most searched right after the RAM and the CPU stuff. And that's camera, my boy. Yes, you're right. Starting off with the Samsung's Galaxy A51, it has a 48 megapixel sensor with f2.0 aperture and it is a wide lens. And the secondary sensor on the phone is a 12 megapixel sensor with f2.2 aperture and it is an ultra wide lens. And the third one is a 5 megapixel macro lens with f2.2 aperture, and last but not the least is a 5 megapixel depth sensor with f2.2 aperture. Now moving on to the rear camera setup of the Huawei's Y9a, it has a 64 megapixel primary sensor with f1.8 aperture and it is a wide lens. The secondary lens on the phone is an 8 megapixel ultra wide lens which can capture up to 120 degrees of field view. The third sensor on the phone is a 2 megapixel macro lens with f2.4 aperture, and last but not the least is a 2 megapixel depth sensor with f2.2 aperture. So these were the rear camera setups on both smartphones. Even though we are done with the rear camera setup, it wouldn't be justified if we do not compare the selfies shooter. So the Huawei's Y9a carries a motorized pop-up 16 megapixel sensor that is a wide lens and it has f2.2 aperture. It also supports HDR mode and it can capture 1080 pixels of resolution video from the front cam. On the other hand, the Samsung's Galaxy A51 takes the lead in terms of the overall resolution. It has a 32 megapixel wide selfie shooter with f2.2 aperture and it also has HDR support and it can record up to 1080p at 30 frames. The Samsung's Galaxy A51 took the lead here, but in actual or the real life performance, which one wins? Let's take a look. And now it is time to compare the screens of both smartphones. So starting off with the Samsung's Galaxy A51, it has a Super AMOLED screen with 6.5 inches of display and 87.4% screen to body ratio. The bezels are really thin on this smartphone and I like that. It has a punch hole cut right at the top that I'm not comfortable with. It has 1080 x 2400 pixels of resolution with 405 pixels per inches density. And another good thing here is that it has Corning Gorilla Glass 3's protection on board. On the other hand, the Huawei's Y9a has a 6.63 inches IPS LCD capacitive touchscreen which works pretty well. And the screen to body ratio of this smartphone is 84.8%. As far as the resolution is concerned, it has 1080 x 2400 pixels resolution with 397 pixels per inches. And as far as the real life performance of both smartphones in terms of the display is concerned, you are very well aware that the AMOLED displays have much better dynamic range and the colors accuracy compared to the IPS panel, even though the Samsung has a brighter display in this case and both phones are competing neck to neck here. I personally prefer a display without a notch or even a punch hole cut. Let me know which one you'll go for in the comments section. Comparing the battery life of both smartphones, the Samsung's Galaxy A51 has 4000 mAh battery with 15 watts of charging. On the other hand, you are getting 5200 mAh battery with 40 watts of massive fast charging on Huawei's Y9a. So In terms of the battery life, the Huawei Y9a takes a clear lead here, and it did perform much better in our battery life test compared to the Samsung's Galaxy A51. Not only in the battery life test, but also in terms of the charging speed, the Huawei Y9a takes a clear lead here. The Samsung's Galaxy A51 could be fully charged in under 2 hours. However, the Huawei Y9a is fully charged in almost 1 hour and 15 minutes because you'll be having an extra 200 mAh and 45 minutes faster charging on the Huawei Y9a. So if you are looking for a smartphone to provide a longer battery life while having all of the other decent specs, then Huawei Y9a is a device that you should go for. Speaking about the build quality of both of the smartphones, the Samsung's Galaxy A51 has these diamond cuts. On the other hand, the Huawei Y9a provides more decent look here. But as both of the smartphones are providing the classy look on the back, they also tend to have more fingerprints to be imprinted on the back. The Samsung's Galaxy A51 has a rectangular camera setup. On the other hand, the Huawei Y9a has a circular camera setup that reminds me of some point and shoots camera out there. And speaking about the volume rocker as well as the power button, you'll find that both smartphones are carrying volume rocker and power button on the right side. But the good thing that you'll find here is that the Huawei Y9a carries a fingerprint scanner on the power button, and it works pretty fast. Speaking about the fingerprint placement and the performance of both smartphones, the Huawei Y9a is pretty quick, even though the Samsung's Galaxy A2 has a face unlock feature, as because of the punch hole cut camera, it still is not that fast. Let's compare them both side by side. At the bottom of the Huawei Y9a, you will find the speaker grill along with the microphone, a USB Type-C connector, and also the SIM tray. On the Galaxy A51, you will find the speaker grill along with USB Type-C connector, a microphone, and a 3.5mm headphone jack, which in case of the Huawei Y9a has been placed at the top. And the SIM tray in case of the Samsung's Galaxy A51 has been placed on the left side. Not only in terms of the gaming, but also when we come to the benchmarks, the Huawei Y9a took the lead here with 343 single-core scores on Geekbench 5, while the Samsung's Galaxy A51 managed to get 320 scores. Speaking about the multi-core scores, the Huawei Y9a managed to get 1230 scores. On the other hand, the A51 got 1115 scores. So as far as the benchmarks are concerned, you can see that the Huawei Y9a took the lead here in terms of the processing as well. Speaking about the gaming performance on both smartphones, you can play games like Call of Duty Mobile on both smartphones and they both perform really well. On Huawei Y9a, you can play on medium settings at high frame rates. However, on the Samsung's Galaxy A51, you can play on high settings at high frame rates. But the recommended setting on both smartphones is on medium settings at high frame rates, just in case you do not want to feel the stutters or the lag during the game. But in my experience, the overall gaming experience because of the notchless display on the Y9a is little better overall. Okay, so that is pretty much it about the comparison of the Samsung's Galaxy A51 and the Huawei Y9a. Let me know which one of these smartphones you think is better. But in my opinion, except for the play services and the display, I have found the Huawei Y9a to be much better performer in terms of the camera, in terms of the battery life and overall usage over Samsung's Galaxy A51. You can let me know what do you think in the comments section below. And with that, see you in the next one. Till then, peace out.